Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. I've just realised I haven't muted the tab. There we go. Mute that. There we go. Hello, everybody.
I'm very yellow. I wonder if someone's played around with my light. I'm gonna. There we are. Less yellowy now. How is everybody out there in lockdown land today?
Lockdown
How are
land.
you, Robin?
I'm not too bad. I'm very tired. I'm not sure why.
I think it's just the
But yeah,
lockdown malaise.
yeah, it's starting to fatigue. I mean, I don't have a job or anything, so it's not like
Well,
it's even that hard. But it
you
is.
say you don't have a job, but you do
It's
have 3 children, and
well,
that's
yeah,
that's more
I
jobs
am
than
doing that
anyone.
and teaching, and it is kind of like do the teaching, do all the things that you'd normally do in the daytime, cook dinner, put the kids to bed,
Don't kill the
do,
kids. That's always
do
a
the
very important
chores,
one.
then go to bed or
Yeah.
do live chat.
Or do
And
a
last
live
night, of
chat.
course, we had our exciting interview chat with the guys from
Did.
Tabletop Gaming
We
Magazine.
did. That was very
Which
fun, very very strange to be on something and just be able to blabber and not worry about how am I going to turn this into a cohesive sentence.
yeah, we interviewed for their podcast, which was pretty cool. But that took up 2 hours, so
I was
that
like,
was time I would normally spend doing chores.
yeah. I was like, oh, the wife said, how long are you going to be? I was like, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. I don't really know how long podcasts go. And then sort of came back downstairs at about 11:15 or something. Like, oh, yeah, that took a little longer than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, we just talked about rubbish, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to repeat that now, right? I mean, that's what we do.
Yep. Yeah, but I love this VJ. Apparently, his son just pressed the F12 on the keyboard as we dropped the ready for action, and now he wants that keyboard, that key to do that all the time.
You know what, VJ? I'll send you the sound bite of the ready for action. How you hook that up to your keyboard, I don't know, but you can work that one out yourself.
Must be possible.
Now, who will be got in the room tonight? Daniel Bungay is first in the comments tonight. It's normally Matt or Loz or the glory into the glory hole, but they seem to be absent tonight. I wonder if they're okay. We should send
Busy in the
somebody.
glory hole, maybe.
Who we've got Timothy Greaves, we've got Malachi, we've got Andrew Marlowe, we've got Anthony Tittinsel, we've got Malachi again, VJ, we've got Anthony, Baz Carter, Horn Rat Minis, Malachi again, Andrew Marlowe, Grandpa Nurgle, we've got Grandpa Nurgle in the house, Grandpa Nurgle and Horn Rat
Hey.
Minis. That's always going to be a bit of a questionable moment there. Hello everybody, Tom Murphy as well. Hello to all.
Hello, everybody. Good
So,
to see you all.
we were trying to work out last week, and I think I said directly after we finished our show last week, I said, Robin, we need to come up with something to talk about, and we need to get it out early so people know what's coming, and then didn't do anything about it.
Well, the week sort of goes Tuesday, Thursday when we record our currently recording our TTS sessions. Tuesday. Now, I don't really know what happens between Thursday and Tuesday, but suddenly it's Tuesday again, and I haven't really worked out how.
Yeah.
Yeah, so suddenly it's Tuesday, and again we hadn't really planned. We keep saying we're going to do a quiz, but we have no questions.
Yeah, yeah. But we do have some. We do have a few things. So we were going to talk about tonight the lockdown episode. So this is all about the lockdown, how people are going on. And I was just looking back at our Facebook post because I'm sure somebody put some Facebook comments on our post, and I remember vaguely what those comments were about. So we can cover them anyway. But yeah, I can't find those comments now. So if you are watching and you did put a comment on, do feel free to shout in the chat now because we can talk about it again. So.
It's the Facebook lockdown malaise. It starts to chop out the comments just to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Facebook has
Hallucinating.
Facebook has this really annoying thing where you can set the comments on a post to show most relevant or all comments and stuff like that. It's like, okay, maybe I've set something wrong, but I don't appear to have, so I've got no idea what's
It
going
just does whatever it likes anyway.
That is true. Facebook does seem to just do what
It's just random, completely random.
Yep.
What it does.
Yep. I mean, we moan about things like Facebook. I mean, I know it's not. It's not. It's not like water or food. It's not one of those. It's not a privilege. It's Facebook, right? So it's a thing that you just use. But yeah, we like to moan about it, but it is questionable sometimes.
It's just random. I wasn't moaning. It's just random. It's just a statement of fact.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But the other good thing about it being Tuesday Night Live now is you guys can all tell what day of the week
It's
it is.
Tuesday. Bloody hell!
Actually Tuesday. Well, it might be Tuesday. I mean, obviously, VJ, it's not Tuesday for you. It's Wednesday now, isn't it? Wednesday morning. And there'll be people across the other side of the pond. I guess it will be Tuesday for them. I don't think there's anywhere in America that's that's still in Monday, but
No.
Yeah.
There's a few places we're still in the 1950s. There's nowhere where it's Tuesday.
Yeah, that's very true. Anyway, moving swiftly on from that one. So we've got some questions tonight, and we've got some things to talk about, and it's basically just all about the lockdown malaise and what you can do. Anthony as well says, yeah.
So if you're tuning in to get rid of your lockdown malaise, tough. We're going to talk about
That's what we're talking about. But it's good to talk. That's what That's Anthony Hopkins? No, Bob Hoskins. It's very similar characters. They always play very similar roles in films, I find.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins and Bob Hoskins.
My wife just randomly showed me Anthony Hopkins dancing to thrash metal music, which he's been doing in lockdown. And it says the tagline is "It's more scary than Hannibal Lecter," and it really is. So check that out after we finished. Anthony Hopkins dancing to thrash metal.
That does sound quite terrifying.
He's pretty chilling.
Is he proper moshing, or has somebody just overlaid
Well, he's
thrash
basically
metal?
just kind of moshing, but just staring into the camera while he's doing it. It is quite freaky.
Doing that weird full eye sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I remember
exactly
watching.
Exactly that. Yes.
I remember watching Silence of the Lambs when I was probably about 12 or something like that. Yeah, that one scarred me for a while.
That seems age inappropriate.
It was a little bit, but I think it was back when films would sometimes be on like a Friday night late, like 9-10 o'clock or whatever, and I was up and I was in my room or whatever, and I had a TV in my room, so I was lucky as a kid, and just it was on TV, and me and my mate watched it, and we were like, oh, I guess I'm scarred for the rest of my life then.
I remember watching Die Hard for the first time on telly. I don't remember watching it for the first time on telly, but the Yippee-ki-yay line.
Oh yeah.
On the telly edit, because I don't know if they still do it, but they used to edit swearing on television, didn't they? And it was Yippee-ki-yay Kimo Sabi. And then the first time I watched it on, my friend had it on video, I was like, oh, that's very different.
He doesn't say that. What's going on here?
He says Kimasabi.
Speaking of that, again, this is how we end up talking for 2 hours on a podcast. But that reminds me of I was watching an episode of Scrubs today, and there's a bit in there. There's a bit in there where we're just about to get our 11-year-old into watching Scrubs, and because he's just watched Friends, and I was watching something just to make sure, age appropriateness and stuff like that. And there's a bit where Dr. Cox says, "For the love of God," but my brain didn't process it the first time because he actually says, "For the love of Aisha."
Oh, right.
And I thought, I'm sure he wouldn't say that. And I rewound it and watched it again. And his voice, he definitely says, "For the love of God." But then they've stubbed it over with "For the love of Aisha." I'm like, what? That's some really weird Christian fundamentalist stuff going on there. That's weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Considering all the other stuff he goes on about, and that's the thing they're going to change? Okay.
We're watching Modern Family at the moment. If you're looking for that to watch, because you can watch that with the younger one as well.
Oh yeah.
Because my boys watch Friends, and we finished that, and now we're watching Modern Family.
Okay.
I would thoroughly recommend that. It's very funny.
See, somebody suggested to my wife that we should watch Big Bang Theory, and I found that really dull. It's just
it's a very long documentary.
It's like, there's a couple of smart blokes, and one of them's sort of, he's obviously on the spectrum somewhere, or at least that's how they're portraying the character, and he's, they're all hyper intelligent, and there's a pretty girl, and obviously they all want to sleep with a pretty girl. Matt Collins is on. We thought you were dead, Matt. You didn't come along last week. You weren't commenting. We thought you were dead. Hope Matt and Loz are tucked up in bed, ready for their story.
The bizarre thing about sorry, I forgot what we were talking about. Matt's blown my mind.
We were talking about Modern Family.
Modern Family. No, before that, you were talking after that, or rather. You were talking about something else. No, I can't remember. It's gone. It's gone completely.
It's gone. Die Hard. I mean, who doesn't like Die Hard? I mean, it's a beautiful Christmas film. It's a wonderful Christmas film.
It's simply a wonderful Christmas film.
It is. It's a wonderful Christmas film. Anyone says it's not a Christmas film is lying to themselves.
Didn't Bruce Willis say it wasn't a Christmas film?
What's he know? I mean, look at him.
We really have gone off a wild tangent this evening.
We have. But you know what? This is what you do when you're in lockdown. You talk about TV because you can't talk about where you went today or what you did at the weekend because no one's doing anything.
Apart from our Modern Family sessions, and then we've watched a few. We're still way behind, and we haven't finished the series yet. But we're watching The Mandalorian and The Clone Wars, Apart from that, I've watched barely no telly for the reasons I just gave earlier.
Yeah.
By the time we've sat down,
Start
it's
on
like
Tuesday.
10 o'clock.
Sunday,
Actually, my
Thursday.
wife and I did watch an episode of Endeavour the other night. That was our.
I thought you were going to say Endemic.
Endeavour, yeah.
Have you watched Pandemic? I think it's a must watch given the current situation.
Pandemic.
It's got Matt Damon and and Lawrence Fishburne and I can't remember the actress's name, but she dies, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
That's not a massive spoiler.
I haven't watched that. Loz asked if I've watched Afterlife. I have not.
Is that the one with what's his name in? It's the comedian? What's his name? He did David Brent in The Office and stuff.
Oh yes, Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais, that's it. Is that the Ricky
No,
Gervais one? Thank you, Anthony. Anthony got there almost as quickly as we did, despite the massive delay. I haven't
watched the Good Place either. But that's one of those things I keep saying to my wife, we need to watch this, and if I watch it on my own, she'll get upset with me, despite never having time to watch it with me.
The wife watched that, and I watched a couple, and I tried to, because she was watching it and enjoying it, and I wanted to, you look for those shows that you finally can watch as a couple, and I was like, I really want to like this, because it's got what's his name in it, again, I'm terrible with names, but silver-haired guy, and from Cheers, can't remember his name, and I just remember watching it and thinking, I just don't like this. I should like this, and I don't like this. BJ says in the US, the TV version of Die Hard was dubbed a Yippee-Ki-Yay Melon Farmer. That's just weird. Gwyneth Paltrow is in Pandemic.
I'll have to see if I can dig that out.
It's pretty much a what's happening right now, but in Hollywood budget form.
I took it sort of trying to find things to watch with the wife and sort of waiting to watch things with her. And we both really like Michael Connolly's Bosch novels, and they're about 25, 30 novels. But they've done that's on Amazon Prime, and it came up when we were watching Endeavour because we bought that on Amazon, and it said, "Oh, you could watch the new series of that." She said, "Oh, yeah, are we ever going to watch that?" And I said, "Well, I've watched the first 4 seasons because I got fed up of asking you when we were going to watch it."
When we were watching,
she was like, "What?"
I've watched it now. Doesn't matter. The other thing that we just watched an episode of tonight before I came up here was Black Mirror. We watched one of the episodes of Black Mirror.
Okay. And I'm a bit behind on that. I find them too disturbing.
They're really disturbing. I like that. I like the slightly creepy feeling you have at the end of it.
I sort of do. As I've got older, though, especially at the moment, I don't think I'd want to watch that. I read he was going to do a new TV wipe.
Who's that?
Charlie Brooker.
Oh, right.
Has that been on the telly yet? Does anybody know?
I don't remember hearing about that.
No, he was going to do one because I used to really like that. He used to do it at the end of the year, kind of really horrible roundup of the year, all the horrible things that happened. It'd be quite interesting.
VJ says that his wife has terrible taste in TV, so he gave up finding mutual stuff to watch. And I feel your pain because for the most part, the wife watches god awful stuff on TV, like Lucifer and other things, and I'm just not into any of that. But we found a few things that we can both watch.
We're watching Series 7 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine at the moment, actually, as and when they come on the telly because they're on Channel 4.
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've only watched whatever's on Netflix, season 5. Is that the end of that one?
I think 6 has just come out on Netflix and 7 has just come out on the telly.
Yeah, I do love that. In fact, I love that so much. I finished watching it the other night, and I made that mistake of not realising it was the last episode before I watched it. And then I watched it, and then you think, right, okay, here comes the next one, and I thought, oh no, there's no more. I wasn't ready for this, so I went back and started watching it from the beginning again. Like, I don't care. I've got to watch it.
Loz is rewatching Game of Thrones. I haven't watched any episodes of Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is really, I mean, knowing how it ends, and I started losing interest in it after it started to get past the books and after they started making it a bit more of a popularity competition.
Who's talking about Twin Peaks? Or Grandpa Nurgle's talking about Twin Peaks. I used to love Twin Peaks. I have not. Haven't they rebooted it?
Yeah, they did.
I only watched the original TV series back in the early 90s, maybe late 80s. I watched that with my mum and dad. It was one of those things that sort of you watch it and you feel slightly uncomfortable that you're watching it with your parents.
It's one of those things where, but it's like that now. I find that, I don't know if you did when you were watching Friends with the kids, but every now and then there's an episode of Friends every now and then that's just about sex. It's just about one of them having sex or somebody trying to have sex with somebody, and you're just sitting the whole time thinking, I just don't want my child to start asking me, why is the camera in the bedroom, or anything like that. I don't need to cover this subject right now. I just want to watch a bit of Friends and laugh about it.
Yeah, my wife watched more episodes with the children than I did. I come in and go, it's so inappropriate.
Yeah, it is a bit. Somebody asked if I'd watched Bandersnatch yet, which I think was that Black Mirror optional. It was almost a bit like a fighting fantasy novel, but on TV. I haven't watched that yet.
I haven't watched that. Was it good?
I haven't watched that one yet, no. And
Okay.
Zach Matthews said he's just watching Ozark, which is a bit like Breaking Bad, which I watched some of that, and yeah, I quite like that one. But
What's that? Tales from the Loop. Something else I want to watch.
this is, and somebody commented further up in the chain where someone just said just too much TV and not enough time.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. I've been watching Lock and Key, but I think I said that about 3 or 4 live chats ago, and I haven't watched any more episodes since then because lockdown has really screwed me over. Because I used to watch, have the TV on where I'd be doing chores or something like that, but I can't now because the kids are home all the time, so you can't really watch adult things in case they wander in. Adult movies while doing the dinner. What's in the sauce, Dad? Well,
Special sauce. Right, well, I think we've gone completely off track now. It's just about Agents Talk Telly. So, right. So we are going to talk tonight about the lockdown and generally Underworlds, and we had a few questions which we can talk about. And so let's try and get back on some kind of point. It's just going to be us talking TV or not. But we'll get back on the TV, I should expect, very shortly.
It's free-form entertainment. It's brilliant.
So somebody did mention...
It's all the rage.
Oh, I know why this hasn't shown up. I'm an idiot. I'm looking at the wrong post.
It hasn't shown up because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
There we go.
The comments...
It's just in.
The beep, 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 beep. The comments were on the post where I asked what ideas have people got, and I was looking at the post where I said we're going to be live, so that's why they weren't showing. So I've got the questions. So somebody said on there, and in fact it was Zach Matthews, maybe what's going on at the moment with the best solo/2-player games that are available online or board. So we could talk about that one a bit. Best solo or 2-player games that are available online or board. Well, there's obviously Warhammer Underworlds online. It's always a good pick, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I don't play
version.
very many online games. I'm enjoying Gloom Haven. I'm going to put out my third jaunt down there tomorrow. It's been out for patrons already, but it's going to come out, I think, tomorrow. I'll push it out to everybody else. So it's good fun. I'm enjoying that. That's digital, though. I haven't got into much TTS other than our weekly games, Pete.
Yeah,
I really like the concept of it, but it's just the time and
I'm still getting comments about TV, and Grandpa Nogle says Simpsons is on Disney Plus, which it is. But the problem with Simpsons Series 1 is it sucks a bit. But you kind of have to watch it, and kids don't like that. So, yeah, anyway. Matt says Warhammer Online sucks and he hates it. Is that because you lost recently, Matt? Be honest.
It's all right, Matt. You're in a good club.
Yeah, but you're going to still go through in our group because we have a Patreon only league going on, Warhammer Underworlds Online. And I think you're still going to go through in our group. I think there's 2 people yet to play in the group that Matt and I are both in, and somebody's got to lose by like 6 or 7 glory for me to get through, so I'm kind of assuming that I'm out. Malachi has also suggested Blood Bowl Leagues online. Blood Bowl Online's good fun. Can you actually organise to play against a friend on Blood Bowl? I've never played it enough to work that one out, but yeah, that's not going to help if everyone you know, Robin, doesn't like it.
Sean Blake is in. Now he said, "Hey gents, glad to catch you dudes live. You may have, if this is your first time in, you may not have picked a good one because we've mostly talked about TV so far.
Unless you like TV.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Solo playing the Trogdor board game, says VJ. Yeah, I've not tried the Trogdor board. Trogdor bypassed me, so I don't know much about it.
I mean, that was
Blackstone Fortress. That was one I was going to bring up as a physical game you can play on your own.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. I like all those kind of games like Blackstone Fortress where the baddies have a decision chart or a decision tree that you can then use, because obviously, I mean, you can lie when you're playing it and you can do things and sort of go, oh, you know what, they're going to make this really weird charge so that they can't quite reach me, but you know, you're only cheating yourself if you do that. So I think those kind of games work quite well when you have that decision tree there to be able to say, okay, I just roll a dice and it's going to do whatever the dice tells me.
Yeah. We've been playing at home, so it's a board game, the Pathfinder adventure card game, which Pete, you've got very quiet at this end.
Have I?
I don't know whether.
Have I?
I know. Go back. I don't know what happened.
I just wasn't talking. Goes very quiet when I don't talk.
Sorry. You've got to talk about the Burninator. Sorry, VJ. Sorry, VJ.
Burninating the villagers. I do like Trogdor. No, I don't think I bugged. But I don't think you butted in. I was just saying the Trogdor bit. Trogdor. I've never played the board game. I've never seen it, but I mean, I loved the whole Strong Bad YouTube series, and that was it was funny. In fact, I think I showed it to you before we recorded something once, or before we did a live session once when you were here and we were using my Mac. I'm sure I showed you some of that. You
did. It was one of those things that somebody really likes because they've kind of got into it over a period of time, and then they show it to somebody else and they go, "Oh, I really like this, it's really funny," and the other person looks at it and goes, "Mm-hmm."
Oh, that's pretty stupid looking, I guess.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Hey, this was funny to 16-year-old me. Whatever I was, 26. Christ. Sean Blake says he's just catching up on what's changed in Underworlds. He says, is his poor first season no longer legal? Well, if you stopped before the end of season 1, yes. Well, the warbands are still legal.
You can play all the warbands, but you can't play with any of the universal cards. Of course, if you're playing in a tournament, that is, if you want to play at home, you can do what you like. But all the warbands are still legal, but they have, for competitive play, they have banned all of the, well, not banned, but they've been cycled out, all of the universals, except the ones they've reprinted. So there's some that are reprinted. So ones from the core set mainly, and a few others. You can check that on Underworlds DB. I'll show you which ones are still legal.
Yep, Underworlds DB is a good place to check.
And as Malachi points out, you can play Relic. There is a Relic tournament format, which means all cards are legal. And as all the Season 1 cards are generally better than the rest, then that's probably a reasonable. You probably do reasonably well.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, you're not probably going to find many actual tournaments around that are playing that format, I would expect.
That's why it's just said, does anybody play Relic, though? No.
Yeah, not many, I suspect. But so what other solo or two-player games can you play? Now, Underworlds-related wise, obviously, apart from Underworlds Online, there is also the solo version that Derek on the Facebook groups has come up with, that solo version which you could play, which we haven't actually played that yet. We haven't had a chance. Maybe we'll have to try it at some point. And there's also the Glass Mad Gargant. You could try that one. I'm not sure if that works solo.
Can you do that solo?
Well, I don't see why not. I mean, you probably... Because you don't score glory, do you? You just get glory for wounding the giant.
Right, okay.
So you would just use... Because the Gargant's got a decision table, so there's nothing stopping you just going solo and just taking on just the Gargant yourself.
I suppose not. I don't know it'd be that much fun, but...
Well, I guess this is the thing of how much are any of these things fun when you can't play with another gamer or something at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the same with all these things. Like I keep seeing on the forums people going, I've just played a game of 40k on my own, or Necromunda, or Kill Team, and I just think, is that any fun?
Well, it's how I ended up playing the games originally, because I didn't have any friends. No, because you... I mean, I imagine if I was 12 and in lockdown, I would be playing endless games of Warhammer in my room. But nowadays, I wouldn't. If, like you say, it's like, well, I know what I'm going to do.
Now, Matt's mentioned he wanted to do a Relic event, and then just because he wanted to use Ready for Action again, maybe we should allow in our Agents Con the one card you can have from Season 1, Ready for Action. What do people think? Should we do that? Although we don't really know if we're even going to be going ahead with it now. But...
No, I mean we had the meeting. We had the podcast yesterday with the tabletop gaming guys, and we didn't really touch on that at all. We talked about what we might do at the show. We didn't talk about the coronavirus and the effect it might have. They're obviously still saying it's going ahead. I'd be surprised if it did, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's about 6 weeks after the UKGE, which has been cancelled. And I'm just not sure lots of people, I mean, just also board games. I mean, you could maybe have like a convention, people could go, and you could maybe have some social distancing, maybe if they restricted the numbers, but you can't really sit and play board games with people.
It's going to be tricky. You can't,
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know whether UKG cancelled itself, closed itself off, whatever you want to call it, because they just felt like they weren't going to get the numbers turn up if they did run it.
Yeah, maybe. And also put suppliers and things in difficulty and all that kind of, just the whole logistics of it. And it's a much bigger event, actually, which obviously makes it harder. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm hoping it does go ahead. Although in some ways I'd also like them just to say, no, it's not. So there's that kind of not worrying about it. And
just pick a decision and go for it.
Yeah, and sort of, yeah. And that, I mean, I would still worry. Even anyway, we haven't got to worry about that because it's not our decision. So
we just don't know. So it's not worth worrying about right now. They cancelled it after the announcement from the government.
Which
one? Says so.
They postponed it. They postponed it to August, and then they cancelled it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there was another announcement, Matt, you're referring to. I don't know. The announcement that they were going to make board games illegal. No.
Illegal. That would be the one time Robin takes up arms against the government. Well, actually, it's probably a few, but that would definitely be the one that pushes him over the edge.
You sound like a yes man.
Yeah. Well, I just meant that you're quite, mild-mannered, and a lot would have to happen for you to actually pick up a weapon and kill someone. But, I'm imagining if they did that, there would be you in a field with a bunch of gamers riding up and down on a horse going, "They'll never check our board games!"
Our meeples!
Yeah, that would be the one time. And then everyone would charge down the field very cinematically and then stop after about 100 yards to sort of catch their breath again.
Did we want to go this way or do we want to go the other way?
I think we should go up the hill. No, we should clearly go down there. Are you mad? We should stay at the top of the hill. That way their archers won't reach us. Oh, we're all suddenly surrounded and being chopped to pieces.
Surprised they aren't running digital shows. They could still do panels and previews. Yeah, I think so. Though I think a lot of people seem to go just to buy stuff, which strikes me as amusing. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a real challenge for those guys, and I'm glad we're not in that position.
Yeah.
To have to try and do that.
Yeah, I'm glad because you've got that problem that you want it to happen. You want to go ahead and do it and have some kind of fun enjoyment. Even if the government said, okay, you can have large gatherings again, you could go ahead with it. But you've then got that worry of, well, what happens if we're the cause of a massive outbreak or something like that? Because the home base or something near where I am opened recently and they've had to shut it again because there was one of the staff at the store had a confirmed case.
Oh, okay.
So you're like, if that happens and you're the person who was running it and suddenly there's a massive outbreak again, you'd probably feel quite responsible for it. So yeah, I can't say I blame them right now for the position they're all in.
Mega Loss says they got a good haul from the UKGE last year and they got to try contrast paints before they came out. Yes, me too. I got to meet Nick Baton and he looked at me as though he didn't know who I was.
How dare he? Does he not know who you are?
Fair. He implied that he did, but I don't think he did really.
He did that usual polite thing of, oh yes, yeah, you do the thing on the thing
exactly,
with the...
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Wix is probably opening in 2 weeks, says Andrew Marlowe. What have you been doing then, Andrew? Because you've been in, haven't you, working all through this?
We said they had the doors shut and locked, and if people order stuff, they have to order it for collection, I think, and then they literally sort of open the doors and kick it out and slam the door shut again.
Yeah.
There was a post on Facebook which said ordering pizza in 2020, and then it's got a picture from Home Alone, the black and white scene with the guy with the machine gun and stuff, and it's got a caption underneath that says "Leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out." Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, you peachy! Yes, that would have been quite funny, Matt. If I'd done that, I'll do that next time because you still won't remember who I am.
You should have looked at him, just got two thin coats, yeah. Just looked at his face, got deadpan. That's not me.
I just made some rubbish joke about Duncan hating contrast paints. He probably heard 480 times already that weekend.
But Duncan's not up here, just the one coat now.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably why they didn't have him there at that event. Because the poor guy will just bite someone's ear off if we send him.
Yeah, I'm going to say, just sobbing in the toilets.
I don't think he'll lose his fan base anytime soon, though. He's doing quite well on his YouTube channel.
Yes, he's doing all right. Doing all right.
I like to see that. I like to see people doing well.
Yeah.
I'd like to see myself doing well as well, but never mind.
We're doing very well. We've got 25 people watching this drivel, so we're doing very well.
What are all 25 of you just lovely people doing? I was going to say sad and lonely, but you're not. You're all lovely.
That's just us two. I've been playing the Pathfinder adventure card game with my children, which is not a solo game, but it is a little bit expensive to buy into all at once. But you can play it solo, but we've been playing it with the kids and we've been loving it. We play an adventure a day because it's broken. Each box is broken into 6 adventures, and it's quite good. It's kind of proto role playing really. It's just rolling dice and hitting things, and your cards, your hand, obviously, and you use them in your hand. And if you run out of cards, then you die. It's quite good, and there's no miniatures. But we've been enjoying that, and I've already been eyeing up the second. I think they're all out of print now, but we've been eyeing up the second box because in case we were playing it irregularly, and now my kids are really into it. We're playing it every day, so we're going to run out of adventures fairly quickly. So I might have to get some new ones. Rhino Hero is great for younger kids. Yes, Rhino Hero is great. My kids like that, or liked that, I should say.
It's a bit young now.
Have you got the expansion, Malachi? There's a bigger version. I can't remember what that's called.
Ooh.
It's got multiple buildings. That's quite cool. Yeah.
So what age range is Rhino Hero 4+? So 7-year-old? How many give for that? My 7-year-old could do it.
Yeah. My 7-year-old still enjoys Rhino Hero, and he will play it with his brothers because they can enjoy it still because it's a dexterity game. So actually having little fingers isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, I think you suggested one to us before. Was it called Treetop or something? Where you have the thing and the cards, and you have to.
Oh, that's really good. Monkey. Is that called? It's had 2 names. Baobab, I think it was original name, but it's in a tin, isn't it? With like a tree-shaped tin, and you have to kind of throw the cards.
Sometimes you drop them on it, or throw them on, or you sometimes slam them on. Wow. And my youngest quite like that because obviously if he plays that and the wife plays, her being blind and all means he stands a bit more of a chance.
Yeah, I can't remember what that's called. That is a good fun game, and it comes in a handy tin, which if you're travelling is good, but obviously nobody's travelling at the moment. I just got this. Which is called Metro X, which is really fun. It's a roll and write train game. It's really quite fun, but you can play it on your own. That's why I bought it with me. It's a solo game, and you basically have to rail and write. So it's not roll and write. There's no dice involved, but you have. I'll get one of the cards out and try and hold it over the camera. You have one of these boards, and you draw cards, and you have to mark off certain colours on the lines, and you have to try and fill as many of these holes as you possibly can. Right. And you can play. I've only played it solo so far because I can't get my kids to play it with me.
I'm sure Stu would sit out in the garden.
It takes about 20 minutes to play a game. It's quite good fun, and it's quite cheap. It's a game right game. Anybody who's looking for great games to play with the kids, game right. Pretty much all of them are excellent. So they do Gubs, which is one of my favourites. I'm trying to think what else they do. They did the Forbidden Island of Forbidden
Island of Forbiddenness.
Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, and there's a space one which isn't quite so good.
Forbidden Space?
It's something like that.
Forbidden Planet. I'm sure that's been done.
Yeah.
Let's Talk Wargaming says hello. Hello, let's
talk.
Matt asked, have we ordered anything when GW reopened? We didn't order anything.
No, because we are painting our Necromunda stuff. Well, I am, and Pete is too. But
I'm painting my Space Crusade stuff now.
And so I'm doing that, and then we don't need any. We only need Underworlds warbands when they arrive, and of course there aren't any. So no, we haven't yet. We are going. Oh, way! It's an Rawk. We are going to order something from Forge World, I believe, when it's open, but that's not open yet, is it?
No, it's not.
We did order this, which is still in the cellophane, which shows me what a waste of time was to order. But that is the Marvel Champions game, which I think hopefully you can see.
I just realised as I look at my monitor to see what's going on our feed, it looks like I'm looking at you. It looks like I'm looking at what you're showing off.
That's quite funny. I'm looking at our YouTube feed, which is a few 30 seconds or so behind our feet. I'm looking at it and going, oh, I'm not holding it up. I need to move it about.
You idiot.
Getting shot, and then I remember, and then I immediately forget again. But I'm playing that. You can play this solo, Marvel Champions. I bought this instead of Crisis Protocol because I knew we'd never get to play that. But this is in solo, so in theory I might play it, but in practice I probably never will. But I just wanted to try it out. So, but one of my sons has registered an interest in that.
So Let's Talk said if you want other games that kids will love, Pooh the card game. I know we've got a it's a card game of monkeys flinging poo, which his 8-year-old nephew loves. I can see that would appeal to children and frankly adults.
And Andrew, it would seem.
And Andrew, yeah. And
unless he's just his statement, yeah, poo is good. Might not be referring to the game at all.
But we've got a Pooh Top Trumps game, so that's particularly disgusting. Matt was asking Cawdor weapons. Yeah, we'll be ordering some Cawdor weapons and some other Necromunda goodies once Forge World reopens.
Andrew bought brown tokens for Pooh. It makes it loads better. I could probably make you some tokens if you want, Andrew.
Oh dear. And Malachi actually asked a more pertinent question, which was, do we think we'll get the new warbands for the end of May? I don't think we will. I don't think we'll see them. Well, if we do, it will be a very sudden, warbands, there you go.
By the end of May, we might do. I don't think it'll be long after, if it is after. Certainly by the end of June, I think it'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, they said they were going to reopen so they could get all of their orders out of the way before, but they weren't going to do any new releases straight away.
Right, okay.
But I guess, yeah, hopefully, sometime soonish we'll get new warbands, because I think everybody's dying for them now. Not that we'll get a chance to play anybody when they come out, but...
Well, hopefully they'll release restrictions so you can go and see your YouTube playing friends. And then we can drive to one of those houses to play.
Yeah.
Quite good. There was a question there I wanted to read, and I've lost it. Or it was VJ was asking whether we were going to play 2-player or it seems to work better with 3 or 4. I assume he means Space Crusade. Well, we could rope in Not Stew to come and play with us.
Could get Not Stew along. Yeah, that would give us 3 players, and you could have two Marine players and one play the aliens as they were called in the thing. So. Could possibly do that.
Yaroslav's in the house. He's being beaten by his son, who can't read the cards even because they're English, who's 8. So that's about par for the course, really, being beaten by our children.
It's a young man's game, Yaroslav. That's all I can say. It's a young man's game.
Yeah, that's why we do so badly.
Yeah, pretty much. And then MacLeod says, "Aren't you guys glad you played with us before we got grounded?" I am actually. And it was quite funny because when I was editing the videos, and that was like a good 2-3 weeks after we actually recorded it, there's us talking on there at various points going, oh, they're going to do this, but they're going to do lockdown soon. No, are they really? No, I don't think they will. I think they'll do something else. And then like 2-3 weeks later, like, yeah, everyone's staying at home now. It's just funny.
Wasn't it the end of the week? No, I think it might be the end of that week that they actually shut down. I think
it was almost, because I think the following week didn't we meet up and do a Necromunda
we played
game?
Necromunda, didn't we? Yeah, and then that week, that's right, it was that week.
And then after that, it all shut down. Yeah. So yeah, I was very glad that you guys got along to play before it all kicked in. So
okay,
do at least 3 players if you can. Otherwise, the game could be really lopsided. Yeah, I think you're right, VJ. We'll have to try and get through
3 players.
Malachi asked, and I saw this on Facebook as well, and someone mentioned it on there, is do we think they'll extend the season even though he has fond memories of Nightfall, he'd prefer to move on. I don't think they will extend the season. I think they'll, because we've still got till September anyway before season 4 comes out, and I always
summer.
Yeah, the summer gets. I mean, the last 2 times. Well, not with Shadespire obviously because we didn't know about Nightfall really so much back then, but. Once Nightfall will come out by the end of May, June, July, August, it starts to get really dull. It's just...
Nightfall did, certainly.
Sorry, yeah, Nightfall did. Yeah,
last year did, yeah.
Yeah, it got really, really painful. So, I mean, I won't mind if they stick to their current release schedule, because I think we'll still get the 2 new warbands. I think we probably won't see another Grand Clash maybe in 2020.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
So I think we'll get the warbands. It'll kind of Beastgrave will kind of have a bit of a damp squib ending to the season, and then hopefully come season 4 things will kick off again.
I mean, they might. I suppose it might if they roll everything back, it might get pushed back slightly. But I imagine they'll probably want to catch back up because they must have plans and they must have times when they want to release. I'm guessing they want to have certain things out for Christmas, for example, so they won't want to miss the Christmas release.
Yeah, true. I mean,
Schedules up, so they'll try and catch up pretty quickly.
Matt points out that Grand Clash, when it's getting the guaranteed tickets, they need to run those unless they postpone the Grand Masters. I reckon they'll postpone the Grand Masters. I mean, they're postponing things like Premier League football and F1 and all that kind of thing. So I think GW might postpone the Grand Masters a bit as well.
I think so. I mean, what would be next year in America?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're still struggling to run tournaments in this country, they're not going to be running international.
No.
So I don't think. Well, they might run them locally, but I don't think they're going to invite people from. I don't know. It's so hard to predict. Just the international air travel situation is so screwed at the moment. I noticed today that Virgin have sacked a load of people who are moving out of Gatwick, which is near us. Our holiday has just been cancelled. Well, I expected it to be, but that's at the end of the month. And BA have talking about moving out of Gatwick. Everything is just chaos.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to know how it's going to settle down and whether any of us will be able to afford airfare.
Yeah, well, I mean, the GW ones, the winners of the Grand Clashes, they get a free ticket, don't they? So
do they get a free? They get a free ticket.
Paid
travel.
for, paid for travel to, which is why. But that's why I think they'll move it out because they won't want to say no, we're not going to do it now because it's such a big thing to do. But like Anthony's pointed out, there's no Olympics. If they're canning the Olympics, they're probably going to push the Grand Masters out as well.
Yeah, well, I assume that will just be next year, but it's whether it goes on, whether they've had enough time to play the Grand Clashes to get the people there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to get delayed, but till when and how long or anything, I couldn't really say. VJ's just said something pretty cool. Some of the tabletop minions and regulars are planning to do a full Hero Quest campaign playthrough on TTS. Are you going to get Thingy along to play as well? That'd be quite cool. So all up in the air at the minute, but I think we will see the warbands sometime in the next month or so. Somebody mentioned on Facebook about send out some boxes to some bloggers so they can at least do some stuff with it. Like, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
They liked my comment. I assume they knew I was sort of a bit tongue-in-cheek with it. But, I think it's definitely a good idea. If we could get them to send 2 boxes of each out, though, rather than 1, just so it'd be handy. But, I mean, the minute they do come out, the minute they have them on order and people can buy them, they'll appear in other areas that people will then be able to play with them and stuff anyway, whether that's, Skype games or via other online methods.
VJ, Ryanair don't fly out of Gatwick, so we'll be all right there. It's EasyJet mainly.
Yeah. I mean,
Thingy to play. I assume you mean Adam/Atom. I did wonder that.
Yes,
I assume
Uncle Atom.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if you could get him on. I think he needs to reconnect with his fan base. I mean, you wouldn't see us not taking part in something like that.
What, a TTS thing?
Yeah. I mean, we've been mooting what we could do on the channel and whether we slightly trim down our Underworlds content a bit, and then try and expand the other areas a bit more. So maybe we do 2 Underworlds games on YouTube a month, and then a Necromunda game, and then maybe other, like Space Crusade or other game systems, and do something like that. And then obviously Patreon supporters would still get 2 or 3 Underworlds games, especially just for them, as always. I mean, it's not going to happen anytime soon because we have to be able to meet to be able to play most of those board games.
Yeah.
But it's a question mark. It's something we will definitely have to float to the community to see what people think of that kind of thing, and whether that's a stupid idea and we should stick to what we know, or what really.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know what everybody thought. I mean, I like the idea of playing more games, or more variety of games. The problem is to get the right level of expertise on the game to make it worth watching. That's always the issue, isn't it? Grandpa Nurgle said he'd love to see some Hero and Space Crusade. Yeah, I think Space Crusade is definitely going to happen.
By the fact that we actually own it.
Yeah. And Tim thinks it sounds good. Excellent. Well, we'll take that under advisement. So that's Yeah, we're certainly going to play Necromunda, and I say I'd like to play various games. I'd like to play as Peter gets fed up with me saying, "Oh, we could play this. We could play this." They've got to have a small miniature base.
Small miniature base, and ideally a board
Never
game.
get painted.
Ideally a board game, because if it's tabletop, it's like you suggested. Was it Crisis Protocol? So we should do that. That'd be great. And like it would be, but everything's in a completely different scale to anything we've got, and is in a completely different setting to everything we've got. So we wouldn't have any scenery that would go with it, or anything like that. So
No.
there would definitely.
I've got to secretly build that with all my other projects going on. That should be ready by about 2025.
And then we'll be ready to bring that to you guys. It's basically saying on TTS. VJ asks, yes, it is. It is indeed. But I think we would probably save it to play in person.
Yeah, I think so, because Pete is painting the miniatures, aren't you, Pete?
I am, really badly. But God bless contrast paints, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to make this out either. But the Gene Stealer I did, in the classic Gene Stealery colours. I think anybody on our Patreon's already seen this model. Posted some pictures up there. I think I posted them on Facebook as well, actually. But yeah.
He looks pretty cool.
So what other questions did we get? So we got one from Manuel Rodriguez, one of our newer Patreon supporters, who joined with his brother. He's asked a really easy question. What do we think of the old warbands? Love them. Love them. Just want to cuddle them and hug them and squeeze them and pet them. And
even the bony ones.
Yep. There's not many warbands in the first season that I don't look at and go, "Aww." I mean, Fast Riders maybe, possibly Magor, but that's about it. Everybody else is like Severin, good old Severs, and the dwarves. Who doesn't like a crazy fuel? Crazy fuel.
Yeah, I have to say I like the Skaven and the Reavers now. It's funny how I've kind of turned through 360 degrees.
Finally seen the light.
Well, I think it's because I like the speed of them. Whereas the Orcs have been driving me insane on Wire Underworlds online. I think I'll have to give them up. They're just not there. VJ, interestingly, has said that that the scale for Crisis Protocol is the same as standard railway scale, so Sealer is actually quite easy to get hold of. I did not need to know that.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Cheers. But the trouble is, you've got
I've been so close to buying it for about 3 weeks now, because I joined the Crisis Protocol Facebook group thinking this will help. This will help me not want to buy it. It would be like a little fix of it, but of course it had the opposite effect. I'm just kidding myself.
You were blatantly lying to yourself.
Painted figures and things.
You were
just
so lying to yourself. That's been. I'll just have a little bit of heroin.
And I said to Peter, and I'm going to try to stick to this because Gamora and Nebula are coming out soon, and I'm going to buy those and paint them and see if I enjoy that, and then go from there.
Yeah, that's a bit like I'll just have a little heroin. I only want a little bit of heroin. I mean, that's not going to do anything. Just a taste of meth. That's all I want. Just a little bit of meth.
Well, it's getting to that point of lockdown.
Well, yeah.
That sounds quite good.
Just
the Crisis Protocol will probably be cheaper in the long run.
Yeah, and you won't end up with meth mouth.
No.
So what other questions asked?
Sorry.
Another question asked. That's right. We just randomly do this. How we do this, right?
Yeah.
Will there be more Gloom Haven videos on the way? Is that something which might interest both of you in the future?
Was that Andrew's question?
It was. It was a Marlowe.
I'm basically going to make them for Andrew, and anybody else can watch if they want to. So yes, Andrew, they will. Again, it's finding the time to do it later in the evening, but I'm intending to record one a week, or it's averaging about one every 9 days at the moment. But they will keep coming out, and hopefully they will do the multiplayer. They released a patch today, which they kind of hinted the multiplayer is coming.
Ooh.
There's a little short clip of the multiplayer mode. And then Pete and I can play, and then patrons we might join in with. And then if they do a campaign mode as well, then I think it'll be good to do that regularly.
The good thing about that is, and we were saying this the other night, is it's so much easier to put digital content out like that. Not necessarily like the TTS ones, because we still have to edit those and put the different views in and show some cards. But things like Gloom Haven, you just hit record and play.
Hey, Timothy watches them too. Yeah, you watch and play. You have to talk to yourself for 45 minutes, but it's it's pretty straightforward.
But being stuck at home here, You end up talking to yourself a lot anyway now. So
Well, that's
so
true.
might as
So
well record it.
that the ironic thing about because I thought I might do lots of Warhammer Underworlds online this year. The ironic thing about lockdown is that's become really difficult because I can't play in the daytime because the kids are around, and then I'm
kids.
knackered in the evenings. But I find that Gloom Haven's a little bit easier to play than Underworlds if you're tired. Because although Gloom Haven you can make terrible mistakes and it go really badly for you, you're only letting yourself down. You're not. There's not some guy sitting somewhere at home somewhere going, "Why on earth did you do that?"
Not letting your friends down, your family down. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
So it's a lot less pressure. It's a lot less pressure.
I played a game. I played a couple of games the other night, and I think I messaged you about this, Robin, where I played like 3 games in a row, and I think in my last game I played against Brandon, but in the total of the 3 games I scored about 5 glory. And it was just like, in the first game, I thought I had my offensive Sepulchral Guard deck, but I'd actually picked up my defensive Sepulchral Guard deck. And then the Warden got killed in round 2 right at the start by a lucky triple crit charge. In the second game, my Scritch Warband just did terribly, and Scritch died. It was one of those things where by the 3rd round in both games, I was just hitting pass the whole time. It's like, there's no point in me even trying to do anything or drawing cards. I'm just going to keep hitting pass. And whoever I was playing against must have just been sitting there thinking, well, thanks for all the free XP.
Are you tapping your microphone?
I was tapping the table. So, but yeah, that you have that problem that if you want to stream those kind of games, you've got to be a bit more on the ball. Whereas if you stream Gloom Haven, it doesn't matter if you're a bit crap.
No, exactly. No. So, therefore, I will be streaming Gloom Haven from now on to avoid. It doesn't matter if I'm crap.
Malky says, anyone tried to solo play Underworlds? You mean like 2 warbands against each other, I presume? I mean, there's the Derek version, which is solo, and there's the Glass Mag Gargant, but I'm not sure playing against yourself will be as good.
Yeah, see, Anthony says he lost a game of Warhammer Underworlds online after he accidentally moved a fighter to the wrong hex. Yes, that's I haven't quite done that, but my favourite one is to charge instead of attacking. And you do that with Gerzag, activation 1, and it really pisses you off.
It can be quite irritating. VJ, you say you have to look at how to hold a hand so only you can see it in TTS. Once you join a colour or a team, only that team or colour can see the cards you've drawn. So I don't know if that's what you meant or something else, but tell me.
I haven't tried the Derry version. Maybe I should try it, but again, it's one of those things. It's like if I could play a solo warband, I could play a solo game, or I could do some painting or edit my painted video, or edit one of my many videos that I have ideas for and never create. I have got the rule book. I think I said this last week. I have got the rule book for Wrath and Glory, the 40k role-playing game, and it's pretty great actually. And I would like to. I'd like to spend some time to go over at least the character generation process, because it's quite interesting, and make a video of that. So that's my next thing on the horizon for a little thing from me.
VJ asks, how do you draw cards into your hand? Well, once you pick a side, you just hover over the pile of cards, you press a number, and that's how many cards it will draw.
Yeah, and it sticks them in your hand.
Malachi has put solo wargaming like wrestling without the crowd. Kind of is a little bit, I guess, part of why you wargame is that interaction, and without that, you kind of it's going through the motions. It's a bit like talking of wrestling. Somebody they actually the WWE actually recorded some title matches and stuff. And there was some sort of upsets and people won things, and I just remember thinking, just imagine these 2 people just in a massive room with nobody else around, just pretending to beat each other up. Couldn't they just put some names in a hat and then go, oh, you won? I mean, there's no names in the hat, right? They've got the script, they know what's happening. It just seemed ludicrous to me that they did that. And then afterwards,
maybe they could just stand in the ring and read the script.
And then one of them just lays down on the floor, and the other one just sort of puts their foot on there. And, oh, there we go, 1, 2, 3, we're done. But then afterwards, one of the guys who won it, he was on the BBC, and they were talking about, oh yeah, you've won the WWE heavyweight title, and he was going about how it was a passion of his for years. Like, it's a script. You can't go about how you've wanted to win this for years and you've tried really hard. Literally, a bloke in a room somewhere wrote on a keyboard, and then he won the belt. That's how you got it.
He hasn't broken character. He's still reading off the script.
Well, yeah, I know. And there's the whole kayfabe thing and all that kind of, you know, when you're a wrestler, you stay in character all the time, so it's all real, but it really isn't. Just no one thinks it's real apart from like some 7-year-olds. That's about it.
I used to think it was real.
So did I. Yeah,
Yeah,
when I was
I think-
about 7 or whatever. But then at some point you go through that phase and you realise he didn't even slap him then. He completely missed, and yet the guy still went flying. Maybe this isn't real. Or maybe that £500 guy didn't get really beaten up by the £200 guy. I mean, I'm just guessing here, but maybe being 2.5 times the size of someone gives you a natural advantage. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to knock it. They are incredibly athletic people who do insane things and somehow get up at the end of those insane things and keep going. And they have my respect on that front, but it isn't real. Why is the BBC covering this? It'd be a bit like the BBC interviewing, like, I don't know, anybody from a soap opera going about, so I see your pub just burnt down. Was that a shock to you? Well, yeah, it was a real shock, and I lost all the sheep in the lower field, and this has just been the worst year. My wife was cheating on me, and now she's legged it. And I don't know where she... Yeah, like, dude, it's in the script, right? I mean, you read the script. You didn't come into work, and they're like, oh shit.
Mantic apparently are fully supporting Kings of War on Tabletop Simulator. They even did a blog post on how to play. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
And DJ says that GW would never do that. No, that's right. I wonder if that's a size of company thing. If you can get anybody to play extra, pick it up and join you. Whereas GW probably can only not lose customers, but you know what I mean. Who knows?
I think you're right. I mean, I don't know how big Mantic is as a company. Are they publicly listed?
I wouldn't have thought so.
I would suspect that if you were a publicly listed company like GW is, you might get in trouble with your shares might take a hit if you suddenly go, you know all that stuff we charge you money for, have it for free.
Maybe.
I think a lot of people might go, why am I buying your shares again?
Maybe you're right. I mean, it's funny though, because I think anybody trying to kid themselves that it's the same. And I kind of feel like Underworlds, if they supported Underworlds via that platform at the moment, they might actually get more people playing, because Underworld's only a small game, obviously, compared with Warhammer and 40,000 for them, and actually it's a good way to get into it and find out whether you like it, but playing it and having the figures is much better.
Yeah.
And if no, I don't think anybody's going to say, oh, you know what, I'm only going to play it on Tabletop Simulator.
Well, I mean, you're going to have some people. It's a bit like the whole you wouldn't download a car or whatever the fuck that stupid thing was years ago. Like, well, actually,
steal a car.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm not stealing a car. I'm copying the car. You still have your car. I'm just making an exact copy. And yeah, I would do that if I could, because frankly, who wouldn't? And there are some people out there who will always go, I've downloaded this thing by this bad. I really like it. I'm going to buy it to support them. And you're always going to have the people as well that go, I've downloaded this thing that's bad. I really like it. And it was free. Awesome. I don't have to pay a penny. And you're going to have people in the middle. So I don't think...
Matt's made a good point. It's to do with copyright and trademark practice. You have to actively defend it. That's true. I don't know how true that is. One of my wife's best friends is a copyright lawyer. Maybe I'll have to ask her.
Yeah, you should find that out, actually. I'd be intrigued to know, because I've always assumed it's the same, that once you've let the horse bolt, as it were, you know, once somebody can go, I copied this thing and you didn't stop me, the next person who does it can go, well, you didn't stop them, so why didn't you stop me? And that kind of, because it's all about setting precedent, isn't it, in legal terms?
Yeah, I don't know.
It would be nice if they did
sounds
that.
plausible.
I mean, hell, they should just, they've got the 3D models, right? They could actually produce an even better set of 3D models, and you could buy them in the game as an actual thing. That would be...
Well, quite a lot of companies have their own supported content on Tabletop Simulator, so yeah, they could do that.
We got asked another question. Will we be seeing more painting videos on the channel?
Well, yeah, I hope so. It wasn't a total bomb. I mean, it's got a couple of hundred views, which is better than none. So I have recorded another one. It's going quite a long way before I edit it, but I think I say I'm not the best painter, but I enjoy doing it, and that's really the main thing, the main reason to do it, isn't it? So I would like to carry on doing them. If people want to watch them and nobody gets too abusive, then I'll carry on doing it.
Well, Anonymous Jeff has just put a thing saying Sagents of Wigmar are getting a lot of views. You better get cease and desisting. I mean, it does sort of worry me a little bit if we ever got really big on the channel, if GW or somebody like that turned around and sort of went, you've infringed a lot of our trademarks with things like Sigmar and all these other kind of things. So
But a friend of mine did say, the friend of my wife, who was a copyright lawyer, says a lot of that, you know, kind of like the trademarks things that they do.
Yeah.
Because I asked her when we were doing the T-shirts, and she said a lot of that is just bollocks. You actually can't trademark certain things. They put it on, so even things like Gandalf TM, it's all shite.
That's the legal.
It's just smoke.
The legal
It's
summary,
just smoke
is it?
and mirrors.
It's all shite. My
yeah.
wife's friend said, "This is all shite, Your Honour. You can't do a fucking thing, mate." And then he threw me in jail.
So
I do wonder about some of that kind of stuff where people do that kind of thing. So yeah.
Anthony says the paint videos are cool. Thank you, Anthony. Oh yeah, I'm saying I'm not the most talented, but it's good fun. They're pretty good. Anonymous Jeff says that's high praise from Anonymous Jeff.
I think it's one of those things that I personally, I can watch somebody painting, it's a bit like, I love listening to Queen the band, despite the fact that I'll never be able to play a guitar like Brian May. But I also like listening to AC/DC because I can sort of play the guitar like Angus Young, or I used to be able to play the guitar a bit like Angus Young. So I listen to them for very different reasons. One that I could emulate and one that I could just always aspire to and never achieve. And I think it's the same with the painting videos. You have your Sarastro at one end. I would never be able to paint like him, so I might watch his video just to go, oh, that's what a really good painter looks like. But then I'd watch the other end of the scale to go, oh, that's what an average painter like me looks like, who I could possibly emulate. So I think there's people in both camps there.
Oh, Anonymous Jeff was talking to Anthony when I'm wounded now. He's not seen seen the painted videos. Okay. Yeah, you're not missing much, Anthony. Anonymous Jeff, I wouldn't worry about it.
Just
yeah. Matt says so. Gandalf TM isn't trademarked. Well, it is trademarked, but I think what she was saying to me, and I can't exactly 100% remember how she put it, but basically it is trademarked, but that trademark is largely not unenforceable, but largely doesn't mean anything. So it's just
I suspect if you did
a way of saying.
It's probably to stop people like there's the Lego Dimensions game. They have Gandalf in it, and it's obviously Gandalf, and you can't rip off a character in a big grey hat and a big beard who's a wizard going around shouting "You shall not pass."
Because there are literally no other wizards like that.
Oh yeah, I know. but you could use the word Gandalf for a wizard character in something else if they didn't look exactly the same. You'd probably be okay, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't remember, but it's to do with the fact that trademark isn't really that enforceable under UK law, at least.
I guess the other thing is whether you actually make any money. I suspect if anybody came to us and went, "Stop making money," and we were like, "What? You think we're making? Never mind, mate." Gondorf the Wazard.
Yeah. And Matt enjoyed the painting video too. Oh, thank you guys.
See, people want to see this stuff. People want to see what the average man in on a painting table, what that looks like.
Yeah.
And someone asked whether I was going to do any, and I think I'd like to, but I don't know if I'll have the space or the time to. I was hoping to do like a whole series for all of the Space Crusade ones, like, right, here's the Orc, here's the Git, here's the Gene Stealer, but yeah.
He keeps accidentally painting the figures without recording them.
Yeah, I got a bit carried away with my Goliaths, and I was like, oh, I've painted them all. Oh, I was going to do a video on that, but I'm going to have some more Cawdor because I'm going to do the other weapons, so maybe I'll do some for them, because I would definitely, if you haven't painted Cawdor ever and you're thinking of doing it, don't stick the heads on. It's a pain in the. It's a real pain doing that. Don't do it.
Pete paints on conference call series would be great. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. You could totally do that.
I have done a few online courses where I've been painting whilst I've been listening to it, because it's not something you have to interact with. You're just listening to somebody talk about a subject, and then at the end you have to answer some questions, so you know if you've paid attention or not, because you get the questions right, or you get them all wrong and you have to go and listen to it again. But I've done that on occasion where I've painted stuff whilst listening to things. So what other questions did we get asked? Due to lockdown, do you think you've learned any new things to do with the channel? Don't think we have. Other than more content.
Yeah, I think it's been quite a nice period of reflection. I think I've realised how lovely our viewers are, even more so. Because there's not a lot of Underworlds going on, and yet we've still got 26 people. We're up to about 35 at one point watching, which is really nice. And it's kind of made me think. Actually, maybe we can take this in different directions, like the painting videos and maybe a bit more digital content, and then like actually think about having different games on the channel. Would just be fun. I mean, I've got so many board games because I keep buying them and being sent them and things, and so we could play loads of different games, and that would kind of be fun. And I think that would be a good way of expanding the channel. So
Yeah, I'm quite surprised to see how much of a drop off there's been on YouTube since the lockdown. I thought in some part of my head was sort of thinking lockdown, a lot of people at home watching YouTube, could be a big winner for us. It's actually gone the other way. It's actually gone really quiet. So yeah, what do I know?
yeah, I think it's quiet because we're not producing much physical content. I think people are more interested in that generally. I think.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right. I think there is definitely a group of people who don't like watching digital content,
Yeah.
or at least don't like watching digital content of a physical board game. I'm sure if we did more Gloom Haven or we did Blood Bowl or things that are actual digital games, we might get more people watching.
Yeah. Agree with that.
VJ,
I think it's a
go on.
different skill like that, isn't it? I think
Yes.
we've got to develop that skill.
Yeah, VJ says drop off in viewers or in content production. Well, in viewers, our content production, I think we're probably doing the same. I think, if anything, we're doing more content for our YouTube.
Slightly more.
So, but I think it's a drop off in viewers in general. So, yeah, what do I know?
Yeah, yeah. Friends are saying they're not even sure how they have time to go to work. Yeah, I think that's true. That's how we're feeling. I'm gradually more and more busy and going to bed later and later, and the children are going to bed later and later, and there's more and more stuff to do.
Yeah,
as the days go on.
I think I'm getting a bit like you though. I'm getting more active in that. Whilst I sit in my office, I generally do Joe Wicks most days now. I also have started, the minute I finish work, I go out and jump on the bike with the boys and go out cycling and stuff. So generally getting a bit more active, which is nice.
Yeah, I am actually, strangely enough. Certainly, yeah, Joe Wicks in the morning. And my thighs have muscles in places that I didn't realise they were meant to have them.
Right, or at least I'm assuming there are muscles there because they can kill.
Well, they hurt a lot to start off with.
So
Did you do it today? You did 90-second squat hold.
Yeah, I didn't do 90 seconds.
Oh, that nearly killed me. I did 3 bouts of 30 or 27 seconds.
Yeah, I sort of did a chunk and I got near the end of the 30. I was like, no, too much pain. Had to stand up for a moment. I wonder if he's getting
broken my good knee.
I do wonder if he's getting more people watching the show. You should watch it in a minute, Matt, because his wife's doing it for him because he's done his hand in and his wife's doing it for him. Just saying.
There was a news thump or a poke article about that today.
Was there?
So it's about her being an upsurge and dads doing Joe Wicks with their kids.
Well, I did wonder, is there an upsurge?
As his ex-glamour model wife does the exercises.
Bloody hell, VJ's just shot all of my ideas out the water. He says he's running 10k every second day and riding 30k on alternate days. All right, piss off. Just great. There's always one. Bastard. It is on YouTube, Matt. It is on YouTube. It's called The Body Coach.
The Body Coach, yeah. And he's live at 9.
VJ says, you've got to do something to keep the flab off. I'm cultivating flab so that when the nuclear winter hits, I will be sweating through it, mate. I ain't starving.
Running 10k, that just sounds inhumane, to be honest.
I don't know how.
I've been pleased with myself because twice a week we've been walking 10k's, and I've been quite pleased with myself for doing that. There's always somebody just comes and shits on your parade, isn't there?
I think I ran 10k once a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and I've never done that since. So yeah, I'm way past my peak.
Baked goods. Yeah, honest, Jeff, you must be knackered.
Yeah, year end at the minute. That's a way to kill your sanity. If it makes you feel any better, Let's Talk's Fitbit has told him every hour since lockdown to get off his arse and do stuff. My wife has a Fitbit, and because she normally works at a preschool, she's normally quite active and moving around and hasn't had that problem, and she's had the same issue since lockdown. Her Fitbit keeps going, "Are you dead? Do I need to phone 999 for you? Because you're not moving."
VJ's exercise, not VJ, Andrew's exercise is picking 250 orders a day, picking up 20 kilogram bags of cement is good fun. Yes, I had a 16 kilo bag of flour arrive last week. That's been my exercise, moving that about.
Yeah, VJ says keep keeping that, building up the reserves for nuclear winter. It's a good way of looking at it. You've got to get the balance right. You don't want to be too fat, because if you're the fattest one, you're the slowest one.
Yeah,
They get got first.
You're basically lunch then.
Yeah, so you've got to balance it somewhere in the middle. So we also got asked the question, and this is actually back on the Warhammer Underworlds train.
What?
I know. I'm going to actually talk about the thing that we've built our entire channel around. What is, in your opinion, the worst warband in Warhammer Underworlds, and why do you think that is? And how would you go about making them better?
Worst in what way?
Well, it just said worst.
Worst, because I mean, obviously there's Mollog, who's the worst in the sense that we don't like him.
Well, I don't know if I'd pick Mollog or I'd pick Cursebreakers.
I quite like Cursebreakers.
I like them, but I'm not sure I like them.
I know they have their. I know there's reasons not to like them, but anyway.
Matt
but
loves
actually, worst, not least good. Godsworn Hunter are in a good place at the moment, I don't think. But I don't know whether they'd be the worst. I've chosen Axes probably, and they just need a better Inspire condition. Inspired, they're pretty good, but their Inspire condition is so hard that they're just not worth playing.
Fire Slayers possibly as well, because they're real slow and they're hard to inspire once, because your opponent's only got to run at you and knock you back and you're stuffed.
Yeah, that's true. They are incredibly slow.
And offensive warbands aren't doing great right now, and I can see Axes really suffering because of that. Yeah, Godsworn Hunter them. I think, like you say, Mollog, just because no one likes Mollog. I didn't like Mollog when he came out. I think he did bad things to the game. I always hated playing with or against Mollog.
Yeah, we've barely played him. There are certain warbands we've barely played, and Mollog's one of them.
Rippers are another. Although I don't think they're a bad warband, they're just not one that has really excited either of us.
But they're I don't know, they've got some horrible tricks. That warband you played against me was pretty tasty.
The Ripper one. The Ripper one, do you mean?
Yeah, the Ripper one. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, I think the player who had won with that deck commented on the YouTube video and said, "Hey, that was my deck." Like,
oh, okay.
Your deck is awesome. Thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, there are obviously there's a big chunk of warbands that aren't top tier, but they're not terrible, and then there are a few warbands that are near the bottom that are probably not great. I'm sure that Garrick's Reavers probably aren't near the top, but
they're so fun to play though, even if they're shite. And this is why I'm playing Godsworn Hunt this week, and I'm quite actually looking forward to it because I don't think they're very good. But you're playing a crazy Sepulchral Guard Andrew deck, aren't you? So
I am.
Probably equally matched. But they're fun. They're fun to play most of the time anyway. And Reavers are fun to play. I mean, we played a game. They haven't come out yet. You've been playing them. You've been playing them, and they were really good fun to play against. They are a little bit low par, but the games are never boring when you play against Reavers or play with Reavers.
Yeah, that's true.
Matt says, "Am I set on my Godsworn deck?" No, Matt. I literally have about 12 objectives and no other cards.
The trouble is, the next stage after that is 12 objectives, 40 ploys, and 63 upgrades.
Well, upgrades, yeah, that is true. Because he's okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have a look, Matt. Bung it in the Discord, and I'll take a look at it. That'll save me a job. Yeah, no, that'd be good.
I'll look at it, and look at it means steal, and just use. Yeah. And like you say, with Godsworn Hunt again, whilst I think they may be in a really terrible place, I think they'll still be fun to play.
It's still fun.
You've still got options with them.
And the thing is, I don't think they're necessarily that bad. It's just that the Beastmen are basically the same warband with some slightly extra, with a few extra tricks.
Possibly, maybe we'll have to do a Beastman versus Godsworn Hunt match.
Yeah. And watch the Beastmen absolutely pan the Godsworn Hunt.
I mean, you've got a lot of people on the Godsworn Hunt who do low damage, but then you've got a lot of Beastman models that are low wounds, so you could get those valuable kills in.
Yeah, but Ditto, you've got a mechanism, if you remember to use it, which is you can get rerolls.
There is that. I think you've got one more fighter in your group, haven't you? And you've got...
Yeah, but one of them's Grawl, so it doesn't really count.
Although, I mean, even Grawl could be quite lethal. up against the Beastmen because you've got a
True.
great strength in there. So
True. I'm trying to pronounce that.
Fuck Bears Gaming. How does
Yeah.
he import decks? Now I would say I'll find the link. I would go on the Discord because on the Discord there is the chat channel, and there's loads of information. There's a whole list on how you can import decks and things in there, and if you go to the TTS mod channel on the Discord and you say help, I don't know what the hell's going on, the guy or girl, I'm not sure who it is, the person who has Draxus, his name is, who seems to be responsible for a lot of it, is very quick to respond if you have any questions or you get stuck at all. So I'll post up the link to it there. I can do that whilst I talk. How do I do the invite? So here's the link. Follow that. Go join there. Go to the TTS mod page and ask them, and they will show you. There's the list as well in there, the how-to. So do check that out. More questions. What questions? Furious typing, says Andrew Marlowe. Yep. So I would check that out, mate. And there's a really easy set of instructions. You basically export the deck and you put it in a specific folder on your machine, and then when you go into the game, you can import it as an object, and it will be in that folder. So, yep, nice and easy. We did get asked the question about what do we know about next season. Is it going to develop more of the Hunter Quarry theme? That was from Manuel, and we don't know anything. They don't tell us anything. We're not part of the...
Yeah, we know nothing. We know nothing.
We know very accurate. Yeah, we know nothing. We're not one of the beta tester, early design testy people at all. And I suspect anybody who is has to sign paperwork to say don't say a word, or we'll come and find you and break your kneecaps or smash your models.
Pete and I were speculating over the possibility of a vampire warband today.
Yeah.
While we were chatting to each other, because of that picture on the what do they call it?
The rumor engine thing. I can't remember.
The rumor engine. Yeah, I'm not sure it is a vampire. It looks a bit muscly to be a vampire.
I think it's flesh eater cores.
But I did come up with some fun. I thought I'd quite like to have a vampire warband, and I thought maybe they would have, like they might even only have 2 models, but when they were inspired, they actually got extra activations, and then they became inspired by having a bite attack, which they succeeded. They became inspired.
Cause a wound from the bite attack or something like that.
Yeah,
would be quite cool.
Yeah,
that'd be funky.
Yeah, or even if there were 3 of them and one of them could get extra attacks, so they were inspired, would be quite interesting.
Yeah, I don't think the rumour engine has ever done a rumour picture from an Underworlds warband. I think it's always been like AOS or 40k and stuff like that, which is a bit of a shame, really.
I don't keep up with it.
No, I don't really enough, but I think from memory, because every now and then there'll be a post surface and some crazy person will have linked back a load of the old pictures to like a new model and gone, here's the tail bit and here's the spike and something insane like that. But yeah, it's a shame that you see these rumour things and you realise it's not Underworlds related. I already know it isn't because they don't do it. So
yeah, true. They did that. I think Spike's Room was on the rumour. Malachi says. Of course, there was the Lizard Man warband that's coming out. That was a rumour as well.
Was the Spike Shroom one on there? I'm going to have to try and find that now. Maybe it was. Or was it just like a silhouette outline or something like that? I don't know. But it doesn't feel like there's been many. Manuel did ask as well, do we have any advice for playing the Godsworn? Well, we're going to do some battle reports with them, so maybe you'll find out how not to play them from that.
Yeah. Rumour engine of just bits of card would be good. Yeah, that would be quite cool. Ooh. It would even be quite fun if they did the symbols. They spoiled the symbols early on.
Ooh,
so you try and guess what they belong to. Some will be more obvious than others, but they're kind of thematic. You might get close on theme, but I don't think you can necessarily guess what sort of warband they were. Like, send to Robin over Discord, Matt.
Oh, yeah, Matt, send it to Robin's Discord. Don't send it on Patron. Although, to be honest, I wouldn't look anywhere.
I just buzzed, so I think it came that way.
What's that? But this is the thing. We were talking about this the other day again, Robin. That we were saying, some channels seem to do really well by just.
Robin likes messages at 4:30 a.m. Well, I'm used to them, Andrew. I wouldn't necessarily say I like them. What time do you get up? Do you live a long way away from work or something? Because you're up really early and message me. Luckily, my phone is downstairs. Sorry, Pete.
Matt says he wants to share it here, but the link's too long. Go to tiny URL. Go and put it in tiny URL, and they'll shrink it down for you. But what were we talking about? What were we talking about just then?
We're talking, and I interrupted you to tell Andrew off.
Can't remember what we were talking about whatsoever now.
Godswool Hunt was the last thing you said. Is it another question?
I can't remember now for the life of me. I'm quite concerned these days. My brain does this a lot. It just switches off. Oh, we were talking about, you and I were discussing the fact that YouTube channels seem to do quite well by doing videos where they just make stuff up. Not lie, speculate. Yeah, they just speculate. Maybe the next warband will be 63 fighters, and they'll all have 40 dice or whatever. And
do you remember I said they need to be plausible speculations, and that's the skill? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Because I think maybe you haven't taken that on board.
So you're saying there could be 164 fighters?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Oh my god! But we're not very good at that because we're like, who cares? We'll find out in a month. Just shove and wait.
Exactly. What's the point in guessing? Or just wait a month and find out.
People go, but there could be 16 orcs in this war. But you'll know in a month because they'll send us pictures.
I've got a gajillion things to do between now and then, so I'll just wait and find out.
There are people going, oh, the daughters of Cain. What are they going to do? Well, we'll find out in a month when they show us the cards. What? I don't get it. Why? Well, maybe this is the thing. Oh, Scritch was a rumour engine. I didn't know that. Okay.
I was waiting for you to notice that.
Didn't know that one. That was a long time ago, though. But yeah, we're really bad at that kind of thing because I think it's because we have so many other things going on.
Yeah, and no imagination.
And no imagination. Yeah, that's another big factor. I think people are like, oh, what's the new Orc Warband going to do? Well, give it a month and we'll know. So.
I think also you need to know to a lot of it. You need to know some lore and stuff like that, which we're not very good at, or I'm not very good at. So people can make lore-based assumptions on how they might work.
Possibly.
Got no clue.
Less so in Underworlds though, because Underworlds is quite detracted.
Yeah, but even I knew this one, but everybody knows that the worm spat have a kind of dirty resilience type,
Yeah.
thing. So you kind of know that's going to be built in. They also have things like that.
Matt's got the right idea of it.
You reckon they have wounds?
They'll have
at least 0.
wounds.
At least 0 and no more than 10.
They'll probably have an attack characteristic that does 1 or more damage and probably rolls hammers or swords. I haven't done a fighter yet that rolls assists.
No.
Maybe there'll be a warband out next time around that'll have assists as their attack. Or maybe there'll be a warband that has a fighter that only has crits as their success. That'd be cool. You'd have like 5 dice, but only crits count.
I don't think that'd be cool. That'd be incredibly frustrating.
Yes, but at the same time, it's like you know that when they hit, it's going to be a crit success straight away.
Didn't mention the Eyes of the Nine when we were talking about ship warbands, actually, which is very remiss of us. But that's because they're so great as well as being so terrible.
Yeah, I was going to say they suffer in
a.
They're all wizard surprise. Oh, good, another all wizard warband. That's the only way they can make.
Anonymous Jeff says he wishes he was more like that. He's always looking ahead rather than enjoying the game now. I think Games Workshop rely on that mentality. In fact, not just Games Workshop. That's kind of the modern way, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no point in worrying about the thing that you've just bought. You need to be thinking about the thing that you can buy next. That's marketing for you. That's the great trick of the 21st century, I think.
Yeah. We've just released this thing that you can have right now and enjoy, but there's another thing that you can't have yet, and you should probably worry about that more.
Yeah.
But definitely. I think, like you say, I think that's what GW rely on. And if they relied on, if everybody was like us, there would be zero hype. They've released an email like, here comes a new warband. Well, I guess we'll find out about it in a month. Cool, see you in a month's time. But don't you want to know? Don't you want to see a silhouette? Yeah, not really. I mean, what the fuck am I going to do with a silhouette? It's going to look a bit like a model. I'm not going to be able to tell what the fuck it is. What's that good to me?
Anonymous Jeff is a marketer's dream, he says.
I mean, don't be wrong.
We all want more things.
All of us want more things. And don't get me wrong, when I see the warband cards and I can see some of the details about them. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I like this or I like that aspect. But when it's like a silhouette or like a left toe of a black and white picture or model, I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do with this, but I don't care. Show me a card, maybe I'll care a bit more.
Yeah, well, I liked it much more when Games Workshop this time they released all the cards, didn't they? So you could see all of them.
Yeah.
Rather than spoiling like half a dozen, and then everybody's trying to speculate what the rest might be.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, well, we just wait a week and we'll know.
Yeah, and I guess, for the position we're in, we should be more like Jeff. We should be more like Anonymous Jeff. We should be sitting there getting
And it's
excited.
interesting because I didn't do, and I still don't always have time to do them, but like videos of looking at the cards. But people love those, even though this time they were all released, so everybody could look at the Games Workshop. The video we did of looking at the cards got a reasonable number of hits, so people do like that stuff. So we should do more of that.
I wonder if they do less of it now that they release them all. But maybe people watching right now can tell us if this is true or not. I guess some people tune in just to hear what our opinion of those cards are, not necessarily just to see the details of the cards.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
So, yeah. I remember doing one years ago when the Orc cards came out, so Gerzag's boys cards came out. And I remember I'd literally just got them off of you, just set the camera up, going through the cards. I was literally reading them and talking about them at the time. And I put that up and obviously got some hits, people liked it, and then like 2 years later someone put a comment on the video going, this card doesn't work like that, it works like this. Like 2 fucking years ago I'd had the cards 5 minutes. What do you want from me? Really? I feel like after about a year we need to turn the comments off on videos.
Yeah, probably. It's interesting though, because I do make errors. I seem to not really remembering how good, or not realising how good Ready for Action was when it first arrived. And probably if you look back at decks when it first came out, they may not have Ready for Action in it. Suddenly realise how powerful it was.
Well, I think,
So my first impressions are necessarily that on the money.
You picked up on that, and I distinctly remember after a while you had it in a lot of your decks, and I still didn't pick it up very often. And I remember we were having one game once, and you were like, why don't you take this card? And I said something like, well, it's quite situational, you need a glory, you need an upgrade. And back in Season 1, that was a bit harder to achieve because you needed the spare glory, and it was a harder thing to achieve back then. And I retained that through into Nightvault as well, I think. And I just remember sort of going, oh, well, it's not easy to get. You've got to have the upgrade, and you've got to have the glory, and you've got to have somebody in the right position to make that attack or whatever. And looking back now, it's like, no, it's an awesome card, you moron. What are you talking about?
Red Rose War Games gives us an idea for a series where we review our old videos. That would be quite entertaining. If lockdown goes on for much longer, we might end up doing that.
Just doing the old video,
commentating
ourselves. That'd get quite confusing. There'd be us jabbering in the background and us jabbering in the foreground as well.
I think you'd have to turn the volume off the actual game.
Possibly. But I think half of it would be us taking the piss out of the shit we were saying like 2 years ago.
That's true.
Oh, Skaven, no, you can't play offensive with Skaven.
Robin hasn't put a guard token down again.
Yeah, that's one of those things where, because I'd really love to do double guff, double guffings, says Malachi. I'd really love to do like us commentating a Grand Clash thing, but it would be terrible. because you can't see the cards they've got in their hands, and because the video, their broadcast isn't super clear, we'd spend just as long as I think the guys who are there doing it going, oh, I think he's killed Gerzag. No, he's put Gerzag on guard, I think. No, he's played an upgrade on Gerzag.
A drink of water.
Yeah. What has he done? And I remember watching that the last time round, and even the guys who are in the studio who have the screen with the feed telling them what's happening were sitting there going, oh, they're talking about something, and then you see the other person sort of roll some dice and Gerzag gets taken off, and they're still talking away about something, and then they go, oh, I think Gerzag's been killed. Has he been killed? No. Has he got an upgrade? Has he been killed? Like, how do you not know? You're right there. So for us, we'd be just sitting there going, I don't know what he's doing. I think he's moved a dwarf. Has he got a dwarf? Is that a dwarf? Are they playing dwarves?
Pete, they're not even playing Oryx.
Exactly, yeah. We'd sit there for about 20 minutes talking about how he's put Gerzag in the wrong position and go, wait, no, sorry, that's Moloch.
Scritch.
Yeah, that's Scritch. Yeah, so it would be terrible, but at the same time, it could be quite funny.
Are there any more questions, Pete? Because it's 11:30.
No, we don't really have any more
It is
questions.
a call in.
Yes, we're all tired. We're all tired. And I'm amazed that we still have 30 lovely people at home all watching this. Thank you, all of you, for tuning in for this absolute nonsense fest. It has been absolute nonsense. We need to get better at finding a subject and talking about that subject in a more.
We talked about games. I've still got games on my notepad to talk about, but I'll save them for next week. Good 2-player games. Imhotep Duel. Imhotep Duel is a good 2-player game. It's not too expensive. And Red 7. Red 7's a great game. You can play that too.
Oh, I liked Red 7. Yeah, that was really confusing.
These small box games are quite cheap to get hold of. Probably relatively easy to get hold of. But that's a really nice game.
Andrew Smiley says he still enjoys these chats. Andrew, bless you. I suspect you'd enjoy these chats if we were just marking homework. Andrew says, sorry, missed the end almost. Had to organise brekkie. Well, that's fair enough. I think it is the most important meal of the day.
It is.
I don't think it is, but it's certainly one of my favourites, along with dinner and lunch.
I'm going to say it's one of my top 3.
Yeah, I'd say brunch is probably 4th.
Oh, brunch. Brunch might be best, actually. I do like a brunch.
Yeah, but how often do you have brunch?
Very, very rarely.
It can't be your top 5 if you don't have it every day, surely.
Well, I don't know, because it I can think of things that I like to do that I don't do very often. They're definitely in my top 5 things I like to do.
I'm assuming that's play a best of 3?
Absolutely, yeah. Cause I normally win 2-0, so that's
Oh, trash talk. I mean, it's true, but it still stings.
Yeah, second breakfast is good. Yeah.
So we're all very grateful for everyone tuning in. Has anybody got any suggestions on things they'd like us to cover next week? Because we need to get more organised.
We're desperate to find things to talk about.
It's either this or we stream Warhammer Underworlds online and then we talk.
Yeah, we could,
yeah.
There is no Robin one with that Git deck. I don't know. Has that video gone out yet? Has the Git video gone out yet?
No, I've only just uploaded the first one, which will be going on to Patreon this Friday.
Did I win or did I not win? Time will tell.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely a first game and a second game. The first one will be out on Friday on Patreon, and then maybe a week or two later on YouTube, and there'll be a second game, at least one extra game, which will be going out on Patreon, hopefully on Saturday as well. But it depends on how quick I can get it done.
We've been winning with a Marlow deck, impossible. Well, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, sometimes, Andrew, our game has 2 decks, both by you, so you can't lose. Unless you somehow manage to get a dead draw.
Draw.
Yeah.
Do a bake-off. There's an idea.
I'm not so much the baking, I'm more the eating.
Okay.
I prefer I mean, if you want to bake, Robin, I'll happily eat it. I'll eat your muffins.
I don't know how that would work. I don't know the screen. I know we've got cameras there, but I don't think we'll get stuff through the screen. Anyway, this is getting ridiculous. We'll try and think of something to do. Maybe we'll do this quiz that we keep fabling.
Oh, yes.
And never actually doing.
Yes, we need to try and do this pub quiz. I think if we do a pub quiz, we'll have to do some kind of first past the post answers in the chat or something like that. Or maybe
+1 for Bake Off.
Or maybe we just do we'll ask a bunch of questions, we'll give you the answers, and people can mark their own and see how they get on. But my wife's done a few of those, and they seem a bit pointless. And one of them she had to pay for, and it was a friend's one. She had to pay for it. The person who had organised it had pre-recorded it. It wasn't even live. Like, this, just why am I paying for this nonsense? It's rubbish. Matt says he wants to do the quiz.
I'm lost now. So her friends made her pay.
No, it wasn't her friend.
Sorry.
She did it. She did a friend's quiz about the show.
Oh, friends. I see. Sorry.
But the woman had recorded it in advance, and then you had to pay, and then you got sent a link to it, but it wasn't live. So it's like, this is rubbish. And she did one before. She did a Harry Potter one that was to raise money for charity, which we did because we thought, well, it's for charity, so that's all right. And the woman came on the show, and she was like, straight off the bat, I'm just going to tell you, I'm not a fan of Harry Potter. I haven't watched the films, haven't read the books, don't really care about it. And I got all these questions from somebody who gave them to me. And then she's reading these questions off, and she's getting names wrong. She's asking, it was deadpan. She was like reading these things out. Who was the so-and-so and so-and-so? And who is the what and this and that? You're just thinking, you don't care. Why are you doing this? This is such rubbish to watch. But yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Well, I feel better about our channel now.
I reckon we could do much better because at least we'll have a bit of a laugh. Matt says 10 questions, 10 rounds done. I don't know if we could fit 100 in. Maybe we'll do 10 questions, 3 rounds with a bonus picture round, maybe.
Picture round, I like it. Yeah.
And a man has just posted a Skaith aggro deck. Well, he does that all the time, doesn't he? A man's always coming up with Skaith aggro decks. Where would we be without a Skaith aggro deck?
No. Yeah. Might have to try that out, that deck.
Okay.
Well, Wild Hunt's a deck that Warband I'd like to play more, but for some reason never do.
Yeah.
I almost
so
forget
many.
they exist. Almost forget they exist.
There's just so many warbands. Just not enough time
Yes.
in the day.
Yes.
If we ever increase our Patreon count by another 0, then we'll be able to do this full time. We'll be loaded. We'll be sorted.
So can you work on that, guys, please?
Yeah.
Invite a friend. We should have a refer a friend system, shouldn't we?
I think we should. I think do a refer a friend. If you refer a friend, you'll get a month free. There you go.
Yeah.
So there you are. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in, all you guys and girls out there in YouTube's land. I hope you all have a lovely day if you've just woken up, and if you're just going to bed, I hope you have lovely dreams.
Oh, yes. So what? Sorry, VJ. What is the Harry Potter Hogwarts battle game? That's not the one by Night Models, is it? There's something else. Sorry, VJ. Now I'm waiting for the answer.
Now we've got to wait for 30 seconds. Whilst you're answering, we can keep talking. A month at the highest level.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Fuck it. Go on.
It's not a mini game. Okay, is it the deck buildery one then? I've seen one. I think my brother-in-law owns it, but I've never played it. It's card-based deck builder. Yes. Okay, it's pretty good, is it? Oh, intrigued. My kids aren't really into Harry Potter, so we probably won't play that. But...
No, mine aren't really either. Mine are disappointingly boring. They don't do board games.
My
really.
oldest read my middleist rebelled and said he wasn't going to read it because everybody else was reading it.
Did you threaten to thrash him with an inch of his life?
I don't.
Isn't this the one that said that all books were trash?
Yeah, he did, but he's recovered now and
recovered.
he doesn't think that anymore. But I don't actually think the Harry Potter books are all that good. Just going to put that out there.
I'll agree with you. I'm not a massive fan of the books. The films are okay, but yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the books. At least they got a lot of kids reading, so at least they did.
Yeah,
that.
well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you can't knock them for that. I haven't actually seen all the films. I've only seen the first 4.
We've just watched them all. We just watched the last one at the weekend with my youngest.
Okay.
So he seemed rather unimpressed by it all, really.
No.
Andrew says his alarm clock's going off in 5 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, see you, Andrew.
Yeah, see you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in.
Go to.
Maybe
Yes,
we'll try and organise.
Fighting words in VJ's house, apparently. There are no Black Library. Well, they are better than the Black Library. That is a fair point, Anonymous Jeff. I hadn't really looked at it like that.
So maybe we'll look at getting this to do. I suspect we need more than a week's notice to do the quiz. So maybe if we can start working on the quiz thing now, then we can put an advert out for that next week, and then
yeah,
we can do
Josh Reynolds is the best. Let's leave it.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you invite a friend in, make sure they let us know who you invited. We'll give you a refund. You know what, Matt? You did technically get someone else in, and I will give you your next month back.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Invite a friend. You'll get a month free.
If anybody can get Josh Reynolds to join, then you can have free lifetime membership. But he has to stay.
Yeah. You can't just join and go, you lot of shit, and then just leave again. So thanks, guys. Hopefully we shall see you soon in the Beast Grave. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there in the lockdown land.
Maybe next week we'll have some news about when we're going to unlock down. They keep threatening us news, so we'll see.
Maybe.
Yes. Everybody it's Henry Cavill's birthday today.
Is it?
It was trending on Twitter, so I couldn't resist looking why. Apparently it was his birthday.
You know what? He's pasted one video or one picture of him painting a model, and I think the nerdgasm that erupted from that, he's like, I am never posting another picture online again of that.
No. To be honest, that was a bit like when we talked about it at school. We never wanted to do it again after we'd done that.
Do Blocks of Wood have Patreon accounts? They probably could if they wanted. On that bombshell. We shall see you soon, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe.
Cheers, everybody. Bye.